Hello and welcome to Pock and Rob. In today's video I am starting a new series called Tracks of My Years, and in this I'm going to pick my favourite songs by each artist. I've done a few of these before, but I've not necessarily expanded them beyond the top 15 format. This is going to be my top 30 songs by George Harrison. I've done a few George Harrison related videos over the last year and a half. Obviously there's the stuff with the Beatles. He's cropped up on some of my top 100 songs videos that I did with my son. And of course, I did a reimagined where I had a go at condensing All Things Must Pass into a single album. Before I dive in and rank my 30 George Harrison tracks, I would remind you to like the video, hit the subscribe button, or click the bell to receive notifications of future content. So I'm going to run through the 30 through to number 11 pretty quickly, very few comments about it. At number 30, Devil in the Deep Blue Sea, a cover version from Brainwashed. At number 29, Love Comes to Everyone from George Harrison album 1979. 28, another cover and the last in this list, it's If Not For You, a Bob Dylan song that he covered on All Things Must Pass. 27, Give Me Love, Give Me Peace on Earth. Not a huge fan personally of the Living in Material World album, but this is a great single. Number 26, Run of the Mill, a bit of a forgotten song from All Things Must Pass, as is number 25, which is Awaiting on You All. Number 24, from George Harrison album, Blow Away. 23, might be a controversial choice, but I've included the Travelling Wilburys in this list, and it's Handle With Care. This was meant to have been a B-side to a George single, but the record company liked it too much and said, we want a full one. Number 22 from 33 and a Third is Beautiful Girl. This was right in my speed wheelhouse for running, and that's how I got to know the song so well. Number 21, his tribute to John that was going to be for Ringo but got repurposed after the murder. It's All Those Years Ago from Somewhere in England. Number 20, Gontropo from the 1982 Gontropo album, and I knew this as a result of its inclusion on the cassette copy of the Dark Horse Years Best of George Harrison. It's a better song than the album. Gontropo, I think I really enjoy. Number 19 from All Things Must Pass is The Art of Dying. And number 18, another controversial pick because there is no George Harrison version of this song that I'm aware of. It's That Kind of Woman, which he gave away to Gary Moore, who recorded it on Still Got the Blues, which is a fine album. I'd love there to be a George Harrison version, and we surely are due Volume 2 of George Harrison early takes, and there's got to be a George Harrison demo of this somewhere in the vault. I really want to hear it. Number 17 from Cloud9, Fish in the Sand. Number 16 from Brainwashed is Any Road. Number 15, the second pick that I've made from Living in the Material World, and the best track on the album, it's Sue Me, Sue You Blues. It's all about the breakup of the Beatles and the fact that it was now in the courts and McCartney was suing the rest. It's not the best song about the breakup of the Beatles by a Beatle, because for that I would go to early 1970 by Ringo. Number 14 is the incendiary diss track almost from All Things Must Pass. It's Wah Wah, the song he wrote in the afternoon that he quit the Beatles during the Let It Be sessions. Number 13, Let It Down, also from All Things Must Pass. Number 12 is my favourite song from 33 and a Third. It's Crackerbox Palace. Again, introduced to this through the Dark Horse Years compilation. And at number 11, I'd Have You Anytime, the co-write with Bob Dylan from All Things Must Pass. So now we hit the top 10. I'm going to spend a little bit longer on these. At number 10, George reconnects with his Beatle past in When We Was Fab. This is from Cloud9. Fantastic video. There's still debate about whether or not Paul makes a tiny little cameo. I'm pretty sure he doesn't. Ringo's in it. I think he plays on it. He's revisiting those stories and that history of being a Beatle. At number 9, from All Things Must Pass, it's the Ballad of Frankie Crisp, Let It Roll. Absolutely gorgeous track. It's the way that the melody just cascades is fantastic. And number 8, from Cloud9, probably my favourite track from that record, it's Devil's Radio, all about gossip. And I don't know what was on his mind or what the situation was. It was probably all those stories that people were saying about him and Paul falling out all the time. He was talking about it being gossip. But they actually get on pretty well. There's some really good interviews with him around that period where, say, he and Paul talk. They get on. Number 7 is what I've placed his superior right, I think, for the Travelling Wilburys. It's End of the Line. So good that Dennis Waterman rewrote it for the credits for New Tricks. End of the Line is absolutely fantastic, and I think it's the best thing on the Travelling Wilburys Volume 1. At number 6, I have placed P2 Vatican Blues from Brainwashed. It's an interesting little side swipe against his old Catholicism when he was raised in that religion. He has a bit of a go at it. It's quite a fun song, but it's beaten into the top 5 just by my favourite song on Brainwashed, although I prefer someone else's version of It's Run So Far. So George recorded this early 90s, but he gave it away to Eric Clapton, and it's on Journeyman, where it is a highlight of a really good album. But his version, which I think was recorded about the same time, makes it onto the posthumous Brainwashed. Into the top 4, and all 4 are from All Things Must Pass, because it is the greatest album of his career, without question. Number 4, Behind That Locked Door, the song he wrote to entice Bob Dylan out of his seclusion and almost depression, come out from behind that locked door. And number 3, his tribute to the people that used to hang around Savile Row, Apple Scruffs. Superb little song, and again, another highlight of the great album that is All Things Must Pass. At number 2, and this made my top 100 songs of all time, it's What Is Life. Oh, what a great song. Absolutely fantastic. Not quite the best thing on All Things Must Pass, because that, for me, is the title track. All Things Must Pass, the song that the Beatles really should, could, and ought to have recorded. A Beatle version of All Things Must Pass would probably have been a contender for his greatest ever song. So that concludes my top 30 George Harrison songs. Like I said, I haven't done the included the Beatles songs. If you remember, in 1975, Apple released a best of George Harrison, half of which was Beatles songs, and he considered that to be a big old slap in his face. So I'm not going to do that. What I might do is a companion piece which is ranking all 20 of his Beatles songs, and maybe at the end of that video I might well say where I think some of the highest ones might have placed on my overall George Harrison career. So that concludes this video. Before I go, I'd remind you to like, subscribe and hit the bell. I'll be back in a week with the next video, but until then, thanks for watching.